Hey YouTube, how you doing? Welcome to the studio gallery, and today I'm excited to talk about curiosity. These little adorable guys. There is actually a video on the channel right now that shows me with these little guys. These guys are a tragic story and a heartwarming story all wrapped into one. First, these there's actually 3 cubs, but these 2 that I was filming particularly, that were actually at a rehabilitation center that was out in Picton, Ontario, and I got a call from Joe Bergeron asking me if I would like to come and photograph and sketch some cougar cubs. And I said, absolutely. I asked the question again. So I asked my wife, would you like to come and play with some cougar cubs? And of course she had nothing to do with it. Actually, she was ecstatic. She said, of course. She took the day off work. We jumped in the car and off we went to Picton, which is a good 2-hour drive away from where I am. So when we got there, Joe was telling us that he has 2 cougars right now that are way too young. They've been taken in because unfortunately the mother had been shot and they were orphaned, and they were going to become part of Ontario's rehabilitation and reinsertion into the wild program. And Ontario at that time was really dedicated to upping the populations of both cougars and elk at the time. So Joe was part of this program that these 2 cougars were actually going to be rehabilitated to a certain age and then re-released into the wild. So it was kind of saddening that these poor little guys were on their own because somebody decided they had to shoot the mother. But in the end, both of these cougars, I'm happy to say, did very well in the wild, which was surprising because at that time the cougar rehabilitation program was not doing so good. They had very low numbers of success, but the elk rehabilitation program was doing fantastic, whereas there's a monster herd now in the north end of Algonquin Park, but that's another story. We'll get to that. So anyways, I spent the day with these 2 little cougars, and I can't tell you how inspirational it is to not only be able to connect with nature by just seeing them and sharing the same space with them, but being actually able to touch and connect with them and get that extra connection of physical touch. There's a bond there that when you can touch that animal, you just become even more connected to it. And this day with these 2 cougar cubs, my wife and I will never forget to the day we die because of the interaction that we got to have with them. They were absolutely fascinated with my wife. They would not leave Suzanne alone. They loved her, which actually turned out perfect for me because I spent most of my time photographing them, watching them, studying their movements, and I have done quite a few paintings from this 3 or 4 hour little visit with these 2 cougar cubs. Even though it was at I'd say it's not a petting zoo, but it's a petting zoo environment. I mean, Joe's no longer with us, unfortunately, but he did a lot of rehabilitation, and his whole goal was re-release to the wild. And I actually was a benefactor of that by being able to interact with these animals as he rehabilitated them and then re-released them. And these 2 cougars, they really touched a little place in my heart because not only were they absolutely adorable, I mean, come on, they're cougar cubs, but the 2 of them did very well in release. He would get updates about the tracking of them, and they were doing very well. In fact, the last time I heard before Joe passed, one of them actually had kits of their own. So it's very nice when you can see a sad story of an animal that gets a little bit of a hard times because without human intervention, surely these cougar cubs would have perished. But they got the advantage of a little human touch to help them through a hard position, and then re-released to live the life they were meant to do. And to this day, whenever I see a cougar cub on TV or actually it doesn't even have to be a cougar cub, any kind of cat cub, wild cat cub, lion, tiger, anything, I think about these little guys and how unbelievably cool, for lack of a better word, it was to be able to interact with these guys and share just a little piece of my life and my time with their life and their time.